What is up, everybody? Logan here again. I hope you're enjoying your Saturday. This has been one of the craziest weeks that I've ever had options trading. We brought in roughly $1,500. We'll get right into all the details. This is the IWM Condor, definitely the biggest play of the week. Had a lot of collateral in this one. I made it a Condor. I'll jump into why I added the call sides where I did, why I added the put sides where I did, and we'll get into the calculator. We'll add all the profits for the week. But it was such a fantastic week of trading. The link to the Discord if you want to join, follow our plays. And there's also a link down in the description. You guys would help me out greatly by doing this. I was on the phone with M1 Finance yesterday talking to them, about a potential partnership, and they first want to see, how loyal my fan base is. So we have the M1 referral link. If you guys sign up for M1 with my link and deposit $100, they will give you $30 for free. That's good for a 30% return. You can invest it, and it would help me out greatly. And then if you guys are to do that, leave a comment below saying where I should put my $30 that I got from the referral, and then we can build this portfolio all based off what you guys refer, whether it's DoorDash, Airbnb, Apple, Amazon, any stock. That would be the best way to support me as a creator right now, and I could not even explain how crazy this entire situation is in general. Let's hop right into these Condors, my covered calls. IWM right here. Really cool play this week. I sold the 207 put, bought the 204 put, so I put $300 worth of collateral in that. I got 35 of them, and then on the call side, I got 32 of the $2 widths of IWM calls. I could have added more. I was personally a little more bullish on the week, and you guys have seen, we pretty much ended the week a little green, I think 0.2% green on all the indexes roughly. Wednesday, the market downturned a bit, but IWM was still gave me 10 points of runway pretty much all week on each side. So there was not much for me to worry about with IWM. It was just a really nice peaceful week. And with how crazy last week was and the VIX retracing, I expected this week to be more calm. And it worked out perfectly, but I essentially added my calls right at the all-time highs on IWM, right? So there was a ton of resistance up there. So I was more confident in the calls this week than even the put side. And I could have grabbed more calls. I just didn't want to be too greedy on this play, but it was still good for a really nice return of just over 6%. Now let's jump into our SPY Condor position. I want to talk about this one. I didn't put a lot of money. I was more, tech had been struggling quite a bit. NASDAQ had a lot of resistance around the 50-day moving average. A lot of the stocks like Apple bounced off the 200-day. So there's just a lot of technicals going on. And since SPY is so tech heavily weighted, I decided to just sit, not put a lot into this play, and I did about 4,200 in collateral for this week. Played around the 397. It was still safe. I still was really happy. The lowest SPY got was around 405.60, and that was after having a rough overnight drop. So it did climb back. Nothing too crazy to monitor there, but I pulled 189, so we can also add that to the weekly profit. And then I'll jump into the calculator at the end and we can add up the entire week. That came out to about $1,500. Our next play that I want to touch on is my Twitter covered call. So this is the play right here. I got it for 39 bucks. I sold it back for $1 so then I could open a new position, but this is against my leap that I have, and the leap's up about 20 to 25%. I called that out in the Discord. I think we're up 200 on that Twitter leap currently, but I think they're in a great spot right now. I like Twitter here. And then for this coming week, I sold even further out of the money than I normally do. And then we had the Apple swing trade. You guys remember I made that video on Thursday doing the technical analysis and why I took profits on Thursday. I'm glad I did. Apple sold off quite a bit on Friday. There's just so much resistance that it has to get through that I'm going to wait until we break past the 50 if I'm going to make any sort of re-entry on Apple. That was good for a nice $60 there. I have a Beyond leap. This leap's up about $500, doing very well. And that position I sold a covered call against, and we collected $39 on that covered call. And the funny thing is I picked that one up on Wednesday or so. And yeah, I did really close. It was a 109 strike that I ended up selling. Pushed above it for a little bit on Friday and then retraced down, closed the day around 107. So I just held that out, and I'm already up a big amount on the leap. So even if it was to sell my shares then at 109, I mean, I'd still make a really solid return on that play in like a week that I've been in the trade. And then we're going to hop over to the TOS accounts, but I also want to touch on this Palantir play. This was my Palantir covered call. Made 30 bucks on it. Not really sure why I closed it early. I could have made the extra $2. It's $2. and I'll just enter. You guys know I run the covered calls on PLTR every single week. So that's another way to get creative with your finances, right? If you have shares, right, I have 254 shares of PLTR right now. So if you get creative with your finances, I sell covered calls against 200 of them, and then the other 54 just sit there, and I'm going to accumulate up to 300 shares on them. That is my plan over the next year. So here's the play on SPX that I did this week. I sold around the 3995, and then I bought the 3985. I got 5 of these contracts because they were $1,000 spreads. So having 5 of them, $1,000, and getting a return of $261.76. We can add that. Now this is in the taxable account, but we have now taken this count above $5,400 just in the last 2 weeks of having this TOS account. So we've already seen a really solid return on it in general, and that's not even using the full amount each week. So that's something that I want to touch on here. Let's take a deep dive on what that account's currently worth. So the account's currently sitting at $5,467.95. And my whole plan with this one is to just compound it just with spreads. The Robinhood account is where I take my aggressive plays, right? It's my really big one. My long terms are there. But I'm going to have an account that's low key. I barely even look at it, and it's very passive, just doing spreads, and we can see what we can build this 5,000 to by this time next year. And then let's hop over to the Roth really quickly. This was $3,000 last week. We took a trade last Wednesday when the VIX spiked to like 28, the 388, 384 puts, and that was good for a 7.6% return in a week and a half. So now this account has grown tax-free already, $214.69. And my plan this week is to use about $2,800 again, maybe just 25, maybe 300 or 3,000 of it. Not going to put the full account in, of course, because it's my Roth. I'm going to play it laid back, and I'm going to do spreads that are 2 to 3 weeks out that give really good credit and have a really nice safe runway so I can passively make money in it. Eventually, I'm going to take these earnings from this, and I'm going to roll these into shares down the road, and then also going to continue to compound this account with spreads. And I can withdraw my contributions at any time, right? But I can't touch the profits until I'm 60, or I'll end up paying a fee on that money. So I'm totally cool with it. Just a laid back Roth. I don't need this $3,000 absolutely right now today. And if I need to, I could withdraw it at any time, still leave the profits in, and then eventually I'm just going to grow the profits. So it's a fun little thing that I'm doing. I might add more to this for this year's contribution, get a larger base, make more money, and then pull contributions out. All the plays for the week, the IWM Condor brought in 638. Then we had the SPY Condor on Robinhood bring in 189. So those two together bring it to 827. Then we have the Twitter covered call, which brought in $38. We have the PLTR covered call that brought in 30, so we're up to 895. The Beyond covered call that brought in $39, so we're up to $934 in the Robinhood account. Then we had the Apple swing trade. Now we're going to move over to the TOS account, where in the taxable account we had $261.76 gain, right? That brings us to $1,255. And then to wrap this all up, we had the Roth bring in $214.69 this week, good for a $1,470 return on the week. Super happy with it. My goal, I don't know if I've shared this with you guys, my newest one has been now $1,000 a week, or just roughly $4,000 a month. And over the last 2 weeks, we brought in about $2,500. So with 2 more weeks to go in this last month of tracking my trades, we could hit that maybe next week. I don't want to get too greedy though. I like where I'm at. I'm not in with a bunch of money. Also, it's really nice to be able to do a laid back version of investing, right? I'm not worried about the price movement every single second. You know, I'm not that big into scalping. I really don't day trade too often either. I like 0 days to expiration plays, but I'm not really, right? I don't have to guess the direction that the market's going to go to be successful in those. And this isn't a very flashy way of investing. It's more of like, hey, I have a life I want to live. I have all these other things in my life that are awesome. You know, I just want to take my foot off the gas, set some spreads, monitor them, come through the week, look at them, see how it goes. So that's been kind of my most recent form of trading. And then I move a lot of these profits into shares so that I can also take advantage of long-term capital gains too, or I'll buy a leap option and then I can sell covered calls against it and just create this money automated system, right? I love automating things in my life, making things as easy as possible. That's how it should be for everybody, right? Think about a way you can make your life easier today, and why not pursue that? So my goal of $4,000 a month, that would be a nice $48,000 a year, like a separate salary. But if I could hit $1,500 a week, that would be awesome. That could be like my newest goal between all the accounts. $6,000 a month would be insane. So that's like my high end goal, but my medium end goal is $4,000, and then my low end goal is $2,000 a month. So if I can do any of those amounts, I'm pretty happy, right? As long as it's a green month, it's worth my time. And that's the other reason why I'm not the biggest fan of scalping. Because when I did scalp, or anytime I would do any quick trades like that, I just felt like it wasn't worth my time, right? Because time is money. So that's something you guys should definitely take into consideration when deciding how you want to trade, but also with anything in your life. Like, is it worth the 3 hours to me to go do this thing, right? Because you can always get money back, but you can't get your time back. I really appreciate you guys making it all the way through. Make sure you leave a like, a comment below, and subscribe on this video, as it helps the channel out a bunch, and I really cannot thank you guys enough for it. Make sure you use the M1 Finance link to sign up with, and that's gonna be everything for me. We're gonna have way more videos coming out, way more technical analysis videos. Comment below more content that you wanna see, and we'll get it out to you guys. So super excited, I love the group. Trading's been great. Halcyon's back. Moz has been awesome. You already know. Vance is now here. Crazy. This is like the coolest team of traders ever. So that's going to be everything for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.